one of the benefits that you had as a diplomat was the fact that you were somewhat anonymous. Do you? And I know that you've been involved in diplomatic kind of conversations in Africa fairly recently, as late as the late 2000s, 2009. Do you, by losing your anonymity, lose the power to be that background person to help move things along?
No, it remains. First of all, I wouldn't call myself a diplomat. I will call myself a broker. After all, I am a businessman.
Right.
Broker is more linked to business than a diplomat. I'm trying just to put two parties together and to agree on something, like an honest broker. The brokers of this world still work on word and trust. You are on the telephone and you say to someone, okay, the deal is done. Nobody will challenge the fact that the deal is not done because both parties will never give up on what they promise you to say. And this is so it's why trust and ability to be trusted is a fantastic tool and ability to do things. And in the movie you saw that at a certain moment I've lost the trust I had by one party, and I had to regain that trust, which I, at the end of the day, end up. So, no, diplomat is not maybe the right things, but I will try to do the best.
Well, let's talk about those terms. One of the differences between a businessman and a diplomat is that businessmen are known for being amoral, that they generally speaking...
Why do you say moral?
Well, that's what I'm saying, is that a businessman's really not... At the end of the day, a businessman is concerned with making the best deal possible. And is it maybe a good thing to bring that businessman's amorality, not saying immorality, amorality, that one of the problems that we have, and we talked about this briefly, is that we tend to go into a negotiation with a moral judgment about the other person. And these men that you were dealing with in this conversation, in this film, if we had done that, you never would have had most of these conversations because there were no angels amongst any of the people that you were dealing with. So is it perhaps a benefit to you that you, being a businessman, you're more concerned with getting what it is you intend to get accomplished? You want to get the deal done than a diplomat who has to be more concerned with appearances and politics. Is there a freedom in being a businessman? Does a businessman make a better diplomat than even the diplomat does?
Okay, by asking the question, I think you gave the answer.
No.
And I appreciate very, very much the fact that you are giving me now a new argument when I'm going to negotiate.
I don't know if I agree with that necessarily.
I am a businessman, so I have to not to be. I have to be immoral, and so you can trust me. I will use that.
Well, the problem is that some people would say you are immoral by being amoral, by not taking into account the fact that you're dealing with people who may have had people killed.
But you know, there is the history have shown that people who have taken this amoral or immoral attitude have been extremely successful by saving life and giving something good to the humanity. Look at Mr. Schindler from the Schindler List. If you would have looked at what he has done at the time he did it, you would say, how this man can talk to the Nazi and the people who are killing the Jews. And at the end of the day, he has been designated by the State of Israel as one of the just people, the people who have been... So, you know, in any man, in any human being, there is a humanity. And your role as a diplomat is to tickle that part of the man which you have to play with, and to emphasize and enlarge this humanity, and it works.
As opposed to starting from a place of denying the humanity.
Exactly.
When you go into the conversation saying this person is a bad person, then there's no conversation.
There
really
is no
to be
conversation.
had.
Prejudgment. What I call the prejudgment.